Hey Don, I figured I would just go ahead and shoot a new video here real quick. It's been like, well, I don't even know how long ago it was, like a week we talked. I said I was going to get you a video out. The one that I got, a couple of them, they're like hour long. I don't even want to watch them, so I'm sure you don't want to watch it for an hour either. But anyway, I figured I'd just shoot a new video here real quick, try to keep it, short and sweet. That way you kind of get the idea of what the book's about, kind of get into that understanding, see if you got some interest in it, see where you want to go from there. So I've got a whiteboard up here on the wall. Figured I'd just stand up and do it, make it a little bit easier for me. But so what I've got eight pieces to the book up here. And so what I want to do in the beginning, what I'm thinking is do an introduction, a couple of pages, just setting up the book, telling people how to think, how to look at the book, how to read the book. Kind of make some promises in there about how amazing the book is, and you'll get this and you'll get that, and I'm gonna share that with you. So try to get some excitement going for the book. But so that's the first piece is just going to be Dear Reader. And it won't have a heading or anything. It starts out, Dear Reader. And I'll start telling them some stuff and things, right, about how the book's going to flow and go, and suspend your beliefs, your imagination. Get your imagination, curiosity, things like that. If you're receiving something, you're resisting it, just to bear with me or whatever. I'm going to get through the process. So anyway, I'll talk a little bit about how I used to reject things that just didn't fit my belief system. Maybe talk a little bit about brain science, about how we block things out or whatever. So just kind of set it up. Here's how you read this book. All right, and then that'll set up the introduction. Then I'll have a formal introduction in there that gets into telling a little bit about my well, so I've got a process that I'm actually teaching here. It's a 5-step process. It's called the Five Rocks Life Filter, and so I'm going to be sharing that throughout the process here. This is how the filter works. So I'll get into describing the filter and how it's a continuous circle of reframing the way that your mind works as things come into your life, possibilities, and with all the stuff and things and the noise and everything that's out there nowadays, it's hard to stay focused in on what it is that you truly want to create with your life. And what this book is going to do is it's going to help you filter out the noise so that you can stay focused in on the life that's really important to you. And I've got some really good stories to tell on how that's shown up in my life and with my dad and stuff like that. So what I'm going to be doing with the introduction here is kind of explaining the story, the process of the life filter and methodologies and stuff that'll be coming out through the book, and kind of setting up a little bit of my story, talking about where I'm at now, how I got into personal development, and how my life's been a roller coaster and stuff like that. So the introduction just starts getting my story going, and then lines up what the book is about. So it'll kind of break it into the flow on the book. And chapter one is who. So I got who, what, why, when, and how. That's the 5 chapters. And so chapter one is who, and who gets into who you are. Who do you think you are? And there's a bunch of different who questions and stuff that I get in there on who. So just a couple of what? So who do you think you are? Okay, so who do you? Well, I'm actually changing it a little bit this week. So I'm going to get into mind, body, and spirit is what I'm going to try to keep that theme going through the book. So who are you in your beliefs? Who are you in your body, your health, your fitness? Um, Kind of how you associate with your body, right? So we've got body things, where we got fears of nakedness or the way we look, or oh, my eyes are this or that. And I'll kind of talk about the different way we relate with our bodies and our relationship with our own body. And I'll get into that, and then talk about spirit, spirituality with meditation, or just where you see yourself at in the universe, your beliefs around with religion or whatever. So it's going to get into deep down into who you think you are, because we are just who we believe we are, right? I mean, everybody believes they're somebody different. All these little humans running around thinking that they're this and this and this, and we're all just little humans running around thinking we're this, this, and this. So, but that's kind of the who part of the book, and then moves into what with, okay, now that you're creating all this stuff and you're making all this stuff up. Well, what do you want? What do you want for yourself? I mean, you can be anything you want to be. So, with that thought of being able to do that, then who do you want to be? And so, go from who are you now into who do you want to be, since you're the creator of your life, and then we'll move into the next chapter of why. Why do you want that? Why would you want to do that? What would that mean for you? And why? So we do like just the 7 layers deep of why, and get into a lot of different stuff and why. And so you got your ego and your fears, insecurities, and then your belief systems and all that. So it kind of keeps going through this, and so we'll get into why this matters to you, and then chapter 4 is when, and the concept of when. Actually, it used to be my chapter that was called "What Are You Waiting For?" But I wanted to stick with the who, what, why, when, and how thing, so I just renamed it "When," even though, anyway. So, but when is about when are you going to? When do you want what it is that you want? When do you want to make it happen? You've got a limited amount of time here in your human existence. Like for me, I'm turning 50 next month, so my window has come down here, right? I don't know how long I got. None of us do, but being realistic, if you're 50 years old and doing an amazing job of being a human, you got maybe another 50 years. Like if you're amazing at it, but reality of it is maybe 25 years, 30 years, 40 years, maybe is what I might have possibly. But anyway, so I get into the whenness of it. When are you going to make yourself important? When are you going to make yourself valuable? When are you going to quit telling yourself bullshit? When are you going to get off the couch? When would be a good time to do this? When are you going to do these things? So that's kind of the concept of the when chapter. And then the how chapter is where we start getting into how you're going to do these things. What's the plan? Do you know anyone else that has this? Is there a model you can follow? I get deep into motivation, inspiration, discipline, tools, tactics, techniques of how you're going to actually make this transition from where you are now to where you want to be. And so that's the how gets kind of deep into that, goal setting and other things. And I've got a whole process to teach people on actually how to do all this. And I taught it the other day on the cafe, but I've got my little morning ritual, little e-book right here that has little sheets and stuff in here, and I've got a whole methodology that I teach on how to get what you want. And I've been coaching on it for years, but so I work that through this thing also. And then at the end, I got a conclusion at the end. So I take it all, and at the end, I go through and start to break down. If you accept all this information in the book and you believe all this and you want to put a plan together and everything, well, it's not that simple. It's taken me a lifetime to work through all these things, and I've been doing extreme personal development for the last 10 years, going to this event and that event, Tony Robbins, and so you can't make a major mental transformational shift in your mind. You can't do that from a book. It just doesn't take you there. And so the final chapter goes into the stuff and things that I've done to make my transformation and to be able to actually do these things. All these programs that I've gone to and watching and witnessing other people go through transformational moments and how that impacted me and how it changed my mind. And I went from intellectually knowing that something was real to experiencing it and be like, boom, coming out of a training program. So anyway, the final chapter basically is it's a major push to push people to go get out, go get into immersion events, go seek personal development, read the books, go to the programs, watch the trainings. So my final chapter supports personal development as an industry, and then I'll get emotional and deep diving into things that I've seen out at these programs and everything. So the overall concept here is I got the 5 chapters that become your new filter for your mind. So you start to as 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 life comes at you now, then you start to ask yourself, who am I showing up right now? Who do I want to be? Who is this person in front of me? And then what do they want? What do I want them to get? What do I want to get in this situation? And why? Why do I want this? Why do I feel this right now? This person is making me feel a certain way, but they don't have the power to do that. So I'm creating this feeling. And then, well, when would be a good time to go do this? When will I make myself valuable? Or when am I going to when? Just that when, and then how. So when something comes up to you in life now, you'll be saying, okay, well, how can I make this happen? You run into a situation where somebody's like, no, you can't do that. Then you don't accept no. You're like, okay, I get it. You can't do that, but how can I help you? Or how can I get over this? So it changes your filter up to an empowering filter in life. Instead of accepting all these rules and roadblocks and everything, you get it now. You're like, no, there's everything's possible. I just need to run it through my new 5 rocks filter. How do I get what I want? How do I do this? And so there's actually the methodology of the 5 rocks filter in there that I teach, and then I've got my 5 rocks goal setting process. It's a morning ritual part where you clearly define 5 areas of your life, and I say mind, body, spirit, purpose, passion, family, relationships. That there's different areas there, but you break 5 areas down into a very clear, succinct morning goal sheets that you go through, and we identify who you are, who you want to be, what action steps you're going to take to make that transformation, and then put a very powerful, inspiring action statement at the end. So you read that every morning, and by the time you get done reading that, you're clear on who you are, where you're going, and why it's important to you. And I mean, like my morning sheets, when I'm really in sync with my mind and everything. I mean, I get emotional over those sheets, and I sit and I visualize over them every morning, and it's just amazing, powerful. And there's brain science all tied into that, laws of attraction, and subconscious and all that. So it's science based in this process here. But the gurus, or they're all saying, is you got to have a signature methodology. This is my signature methodology. So as I lay the methodology out, though, I go through and I tell you what I want to tell you, and then I give you an emotional, powerful story about my signature story, my life story of how I know this is true. So here's what I'm going to tell you, but before I tell you, here's how I know it's true. Because, oh man, I did all this and this happened, and then I went through this process and I learned this, and then this happened, and now I know this to be true because I've gone through all this. And so then I tell them the methodology and sprinkle a little bit more of my little stories and stuff in there. So that's what the gurus are saying. That's how you get people in. So I got a methodology, and I got an impactful, empowering, transformational story to weave into the methodology. And so that's kind of the book. And I can go on for like hours, and I see I'm almost to 15 minutes, so I'm gonna go ahead and stop. But let me know what you think after you think. Bye.